Now with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq. This is News 10 NBC.
Good evening, I'm Brian Martin.
I'm Janet Lomax. They are the first Allied casualties of the war on Iraq. A Marine helicopter has crashed in Kuwait. All 16 troops on board were killed. 4
Americans and 12 British soldiers were on board the CH-46 Sea Knight helicopter. Now, military officials say it was returning from a mission when it went down on the Kuwaiti side of the border around 7:30 Eastern time tonight. Officials say hostile fire had not been reported in that area. Now, earlier this was the scene in Baghdad as sea-launched Tomahawk cruise missiles hit their targets. Military officials say this is not the beginning of the massive air campaign the Pentagon has planned. And Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld says tonight the U.S. is talking with Iraqis about the possibility of surrender or a coup against Saddam Hussein. Earlier, Iraq fired 3 Scud missiles, one of them aimed at Allied troops in Kuwait. And that's right where News 10 NBC's Dean Staley is located with troops from the 101st Airborne. Dean joins us from Kuwait.
The war came to Camp Thunder this morning in the form of a Scud missile attack. The biggest fear, a chemical or biological warhead.
Pay attention to what direction the wind is from. It's out of the south.
Everyone here donned their gas mask immediately. Clearly that Patriot missile was designed to intercept an incoming Scud. So now, as you see behind me, everyone here in their gas masks. They also got their chemical suits. Some of them have them on, others have them nearby, waiting to find out where and when the Scud missile will come down.
Hey, listen up. Keep your heads down. There is a Scud in the air. They do not know where it's headed to. It could be up to 30 minutes until the Patriot reaches it.
I'm just trying to remain calm and listen to the orders, sir. And I'm just praying that everything works out okay.
After hours of waiting, news that a Patriot missile intercepted the Scud.
All clear. All clear. All clear.
All clear until the next attack with the 101st Airborne, Dean Staley, near the Iraqi border.
Allied forces crossed into southern Iraq, the start of the ground war. The 1st Marine Division entered Iraq. That's about 20,000 Marines. They were met with light resistance and opened fire on an Iraqi tank, destroying it.
As you and coalition forces fulfill the mission you've been assigned, know that you will carry the thoughts and prayers of the American people with you into battle. We fully recognize that lives are at stake. American, coalition, and Iraqi, military and civilian.
The Defense Secretary once again today cautioned against Iraqi use of chemical weapons.
A close call today for another U.S. military helicopter involved in the war with Iraq. An AH-64 Apache helicopter like this one made a hard landing in northern Kuwait on Thursday. The aircraft may have taken gunfire, forcing it to land. NBC News reports the Apache was able to take off again and return to flight. Everyone on board is reported to be okay. The Apache typically carries a 2-person crew.
A taxi driver from Jordan is apparently the first civilian casualty of the war. Relatives of the man say he was killed by a U.S. missile when he stopped to make a phone call in an Iraqi building. Jordan says it has no confirmation of the man's death. Iraqi television reports that Saddam Hussein survived the airstrike, specifically targeting him and members of his regime. These are apparently new pictures of Saddam Hussein meeting with his cabinet in Baghdad sometime today. U.S. officials had hoped that the Iraqi dictator had either been killed or wounded in that first wave of airstrikes last night. Experts were doing voice analysis to see if it really was him. Defense Secretary Rumsfeld says he has no information on whether Saddam was killed or injured in last night's attack.
Now, if Saddam Hussein is killed, it could mean a quick end to the war, and that's exactly what the families of local soldiers are waiting for. Berkeley Breen talked with another one of those families tonight. He joins us live in our newsroom. Berkeley, have those families heard anything from the front?
Well, not really, Brian. Well, only what they see on television and read in the paper, basically what we're hearing as well. Now, many families will tell you that the biggest fear of the war is the fear of losing someone that they know or love. But close behind fear is the frustration of not knowing where those loved ones are.
Somewhere in the desert between Baghdad and Kuwait,
Among the thousands of U.S. soldiers, there is this man. Specialist Dave Bartosz is a soldier in the 101st Airborne. His family in Greece hasn't heard from him in 3 weeks.
I worry about him being lonely, wishing he was going to be home. Wishing he was home instead of where he is.
Bartosz has been in Kuwait since early March. That's the last time he managed to call home.
They're ready to do their...
His family watches the news all the time, trying to catch a glimpse of their hero.
It's still scary. I mean, when you see people on TV, you wonder, gee, it could be my kid.
We've seen how bad those sandstorms can be in the Kuwaiti desert, so Dave's family has made these special neck protectors. They keep them warm at night and, of course, keep the sand out. And they've been so successful that Dave's family has made enough for Dave's friends in the Army.
He's a very generous kid in that fashion, He wanted to surprise his comrades with them. He knew that it was something of value and importance, and he knew that I would enjoy making them and getting them over there.
By staying busy and staying informed, Dave Bartosz's family says they're learning to live with the war.
I hope he kicks their butt and, comes back and, it'll all be over, I guess.
As long as he keeps his head where it needs to be and he always knows that we love him. And we're here rooting for him and behind him 100%.
Now, the family tells me they're having a hard time figuring out how to get this package to Dave. What they really want to happen is turn on the television, see that the war has finally ended so that Dave can come back and pick it up himself. Reporting live in the newsroom, Berkeley Breen, News 10 NBC.
President Bush spent another day working the phones, trying to persuade reluctant allies on why military action is necessary. During a meeting with his cabinet this afternoon, he praised the troops overseas and thanked the coalition of countries that are backing the United States.
Word from Secretary Powell, who briefed us on the ever-growing coalition of the willing nations who support our deep desire for peace and freedom. Over 40 nations now support our efforts. We're grateful for their determination.
And Turkey's parliament today voted to give the U.S. permission to use its airspace.
The Islamic Society of Greater Rochester is voicing its opposition to war. Muslims gathered tonight to pray for peace and a quick end to the conflict. They say they're concerned about the suffering of innocent Iraqis as well as our troops.
They're all equal before us, and we wish their safety and their safe return to their families. On the other hand, Iraqis are people of faith also. They are Muslims. So we have a pain for them also, and we wish their safety also.
Local Muslims are also concerned about their own safety. They say their stance on the war has resulted in some threatening phone calls.
Dozens of anti-war protesters marched this evening from the Liberty Pole to the Federal Building. Some were students, others belonged to groups like Metro Justice and the Green Party. Protesters say they are concerned about the innocent people who will be killed in this war. At RIT, a different kind of rally with a different message. Students here passed out 600 flags to people on campus. They want to show their support for the president, for our troops, and America. They want to show that students believe war is the right thing.
The FBI is looking for an al-Qaeda operative tonight that agents suspect may be planning a terrorist attack in the United States. His name is Adnan El-Shukri Juma. He was last seen in Miami. The FBI has issued a worldwide alert and is asking police and the public to be on the lookout for him. He speaks fluent English and is a pilot. The FBI raided a home in Miramar, Florida today, El-Shukri Juma's last known address. Federal agents say he goes by 6 different names and he could be carrying passports from several different countries.
As the bombs continue to fall in Iraq, the federal government is taking steps to ensure our safety here at home. Federal agencies have increased border inspections and stepped up the search for possible Iraqi terrorist sleeper cells in this country. Earlier today, Homeland Security Director Tom Ridge said terrorists may have targeted the Palo Verde nuclear power plant in Arizona. Tonight, National Guard troops are providing additional security at the nation's largest nuclear power facility.
Now, bringing you Western New York's most advanced forecasting technology, here's meteorologist Kevin Williams in the 10 NBC Weather Lab.
A very good evening to all, and happy spring to one and all. At 8 o'clock sharp this evening, the vernal equinox occurred, marking the end, perhaps, of a very long winter, the astronomical end, at least, of winter. So with that in mind, we thought we might take one last look at the snow stats here in the Snow Center. It may not be the last look, but this is an update on where we stand in our mythical snowfall throughway derby. Syracuse leads the way with a very healthy 145 inches of snow, but solidly in second place is Rochester with, again, a pretty impressive 128-inch snowfall. I say question mark on the final snow. There's sure to be some more, but nothing of consequences in the future. We did have rain, though, the story this evening. No snow to worry about, but the flood watch does continue. However, the steady, heavy rain is over now, but the creeks and streams are running high, and there will be a couple of more showers, even a thunder shower over the next day and a half or so. So we'll have to continue to be on guard for the possibility of at least some minor flooding in the low-lying areas and that sort of thing. No concerns about rain in the Middle East, that is for sure, but nor are there any concerns about intense heat anytime soon. Below normal temperatures, the forecast high for Baghdad on Friday, 68. Basra to the south and east in the upper 70s, and these figures are running at least several degrees below normal. There could still be some breezes producing some sand and blowing dust concerns there, but again, at least the heat is still not a huge factor. A little trough out west might continue to produce a pretty good breeze, especially in southern and southeastern sections of Iraq. We'll continue to keep you posted on the weather there as the events continue to unfold. These are the numbers in our almanac today. 47 the top temp, 38 the low. Compare that to the normals and the records of 79 and -1, and rainfall for the day at the airport, 2/3 of an inch. In town now, as I said, the rain is over. Even a few hints of some starlight through a mostly cloudy sky. 41 degrees at the airport. The humidity at 100%, suggesting there could well be some pockets of fog. The breeze coming in gently out of the southeast at 5. Weather watcher conditions ranging mainly upper 30s to the low to mid 40s now. Rainfall tallies generally 1/3 to 1/2 inch on the west side and 1/2 inch to 1 inch on the east side. But as I said, the significant rain is over. Pretty good dousing of rain earlier this evening in the radar animation, but all that rain is now lifting out across the lake into the north country, leaving behind just the odd shower or two. This rain, by the way, is being produced generally from the same system that brought the record snows to Denver earlier in the week. A large upper level low ambling out of the plains now into the Midwest. It's going to take a couple days to cross the region, so the weather will remain unsettled. Again, the first main slug of rain is now through, but this system and its upper level support will cross the area later Friday and Saturday, and a pool of chilly air in the upper levels will likely destabilize the atmosphere sufficiently to produce at least a couple of showers, maybe even a few snowflakes as we head into Saturday night. But the weekend isn't a complete loss. Certainly, though, will not be the glorious weekend that last weekend was. So our forecast for tonight, once again, a flood watch remains in effect, but the steady rain is over. That flood watch, of course, issued by the National Weather Service. Just a leftover shower, a few breaks of starlight from time to time, and temperatures holding in the mid-30s to the mid-40s. And there will likely be some pockets of fog in at least some of the rural areas, so travelers take note. In the meantime, tomorrow, just a couple of stray showers. The clouds break for a few sunny intervals. Later in the day, a little thunder shower could pop up in a couple of spots. The high temperature 55 to 60. And in the 5-day forecast then, looks like this. Well, not too bad for the weekend. It'll be turning cooler, afternoon temps in the 40s. Plenty of clouds, breaks of sun, couple of showers, maybe a snowflake or two Saturday night. And then a milder pattern takes hold early next week, temperatures by Tuesday into the 60s. So creeks and streams are high, but the rainfall we had just below the threshold to produce any serious flooding at this point, but we will, of course, continue to monitor.
Very good.
Thank you very much. Well, we'll continue to have war updates throughout the show.
And the verdict is in for an accused online sexual predator. Coming up, the jury's decision for James Comfort.
And still ahead, a dramatic rescue at Niagara Falls.
Motor Trend's 2003 Car of the Year. Brilliantly equipped for $31,195.
It's coming this weekend. The Country Folk Art and Craft Show to Batavia Downs Racetrack in the Grandstand Building. The leading folk art and craft show in the nation, featuring many of the best artisans from across the country, all offering the finest quality handcrafted reproductions and collectibles. Country furniture, quilts, pottery, florals, gourmet delights, wood crafts, clothing, teddy bears, and thousands more country decorating and gift items for sale. Don't miss the Country Folk Art and Craft Show this weekend in Batavia at the racetrack in the Grandstand Building.
News 10 NBC's Triple Doubler is brought to you in conjunction with the SUNY College at Brockport, working together to further education through technology and experience.
When you step into a City Mattress, you'll find the best selection of mattresses anywhere. And there's never been a better time to take that big step. Once a year, we offer our lowest prices of the year on everything. All the top brand names are on sale. Over 80 comforts in all, and the prices have never been lower. Isn't it time you shopped City Mattress?
The sweetest dreams happen on a City Mattress.
Springtime is for cleaning, working in the yard, redecorating.
Springtime is golf.
I'd change bedding, I'd, do my planting, and Walmart makes it very easy. Oh, hey, let's go look at the bathroom thing. There's a whole set of everything that goes together, and then I can go over to the paint department and get the color to match up.
She's the decorator, and she's real good at it.
Well, thank you.
This is my new bedroom stuff.
New everything, all from Walmart, and it's a great price. Did you know I got all this?
Good thing she had a truck to bring it home in.
There's more to you. There's more to MCC.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by FrontierNet DSL Internet Access.
You're watching News 10 NBC with the latest developments here at home and abroad. Target Iraq.
And we want to recap some of the major developments today from Operation Iraqi Freedom. The skies are quiet at this hour over Baghdad. You're looking at a live picture of the city skyline. 4 American and 12 British soldiers were killed earlier tonight in a helicopter crash in Kuwait near the Iraqi border. This is file of a Marine CH-46 Sea Knight boarding an aircraft carrier. It's just like the one that went down in the crash. The troops were assigned to the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. The cause of that crash is under investigation, but officials say hostile fire had not been reported in the area.
A jury found James Comfort of Greece guilty of raping 4 teenage girls he met online. After a full day of deliberations, jurors decided Comfort was guilty of rape in the 2nd and 3rd degrees, as well as sexual abuse and endangering the welfare of a child. Comfort was not convicted of the most serious charge, 1st-degree rape.
Thank God the rape ones got voted not guilty. That was our objective in the beginning of this.
I'm very pleased with the jury's verdict. I think they did a tremendous job sorting through 2.5, 3 weeks of testimony, listening to what the girls had to say, and obviously believing what they had to say.
Comfort still faces another rape trial involving 4 women here in Monroe County. He could also go on trial in Syracuse for the rape of a teenage girl there. Firefighters battled a 2-alarm fire on the city's west side. It started at a home on Wellington Avenue around 9 o'clock tonight. No one is reported to have been injured. There is still no word on a cause. 6 people were killed when a tornado swept through southwestern Georgia.
That story tops our newsline. The tornado touched down just before dawn today. At least 200 people were injured. Among those killed, an infant and an 8-year-old boy. The tornado destroyed between 50 and 75 homes.
NASA has released photographs of Columbia's data recorder. Crews recovered it yesterday in Texas. It was fully intact. Engineers are now analyzing the data at Johnson Space Center. That recorder stores sensor information about temperature, pressure, and vibration on the shuttle during launch and re-entry. NASA thinks the box will help them determine what caused the Columbia to break up.
The House of Representatives voted today to condemn a federal appeals court ruling. That ruling says the phrase "under God" in the Pledge of Allegiance is unconstitutional. Members of the House say the phrase reflects the religious faith that is central to what our country was founded on.
A 48-year-old man is recovering tonight from severe hypothermia. He was rescued this afternoon after spending 2 hours on a cliff just 5 feet from the edge of Niagara Falls. A sheriff's helicopter moved in and the man started to slip. He cried out to rescuers, "Hold me, don't let me go." Crews eventually pulled that man to safety.
Well, with our nation at war, national, state, and local health departments are in constant contact with a potential bioterrorism attack. Or about that. That story is coming up in tonight's Medical Checkup.
News 10 NBC is brought to you by Webster Chrysler Jeep.
It's Minivan Madness at Webster Chrysler Jeep. Rows of minivans. Pick your color and equipment and buy it for just $299 a month with zero down on a brand new Chrysler minivan. But wait, there's more. 0% financing on most Chrysler minivans. How about a brand new Town & Country for just $329 a month? Wow! Plus our everyday goal of at least $300 less than the competition. It's Minivan Madness going on now at Webster Chrysler Jeep, where you'll always find the best values in America.
You'll always find a price worth driving for.
I'll see to it.
We're witnessing a college basketball miracle. Dick Vitale silent for an entire 17 seconds. It must be to crush the juicy toppings on that delivery pizza.
For fresh baked pizza at home, it's not delivery, it's DiGiorno.
What's up, baby?
Bringing Down the House is the #1 movie 2 weeks in a row.
Shazam.
Steve Martin.
Hey, yo, what's the dealio?
Queen Latifah.
You got me straight tripping, boo.
Bringing Down the House. Rated PG-13, boo. Now playing.
You can hear News 10 NBC on the radio every day on WYSL News 1040. These broadcasts are made possible by Genesee Ford Truck.
We've always lived out in the country.
Oh, we spend a lot of time outside.
It's just so peaceful and quiet. But, you know, all we got to do is throw some steaks on the fire, and we got ourselves a party. Attaboy. You know, when you live in a small town, Walmart is definitely a way of life.
And this time of year, we live in that garden department.
Lawn furniture, grilling supplies.
I love to be able to just get lots of flowers.
And you just can't beat those prices. Somebody asked me, they said, how's it to live out there? And I said, it's like getting up on vacation every morning.
Oh, you bet.
It just doesn't get any better than this.
Prices are now being slashed during York Furniture Gallery's clearance sale. Floor samples, one of a kind, discontinued and specially selected items throughout York's entire furniture inventory. Hurry in for best selection now through Sunday only. Living rooms, dining rooms, bedrooms, entertainment centers, home office, leather furniture, and much more, all at clearance sale prices. Special financing available during this incredible savings event. Hurry in now through Sunday only. York Furniture Gallery.
The Randall Farnsworth Auto Group really began back in 1918. Why does that matter if you're buying a car today? We've only been able to remain successful by offering buyers like you 3 things: integrity, excellence, and the promise that you'll get more than your money's worth.
Join the Randall Farnsworth tradition on Rochester Road in Canandaigua and enjoy big savings during March Madness. All at Randall Pontiac Buick GMC and Farnsworth Chevrolet Oldsmobile Cadillac.
Now, here's Robin DeWin with tonight's medical checkup report.
The start of the war has reignited concerns over bioterrorism here at home. Public health officials across the country are on high alert. Officials at the Centers for Disease Control say extra steps have been taken to secure their facility in Atlanta. But at least one study questions the nation's preparedness for a bioterror attack. The research led by Stanford University found an anthrax attack on a city the size of New York could kill more than 100,000 within days. Researchers say current plans rely too much on sensors to detect an anthrax attack and not enough on getting drugs like the antibiotic Cipro and medical workers to an affected area fast. The head of the nation's food supply says steps have been taken to protect America's food from terrorism. The Department of Agriculture has taken additional steps to monitor the food chain and protect public health since 9/11. Along with tighter security and stricter guidelines at food processing, more attention and money has gone to tracking and researching food contaminants. And tonight, new research is shedding light on that drinking moderate amounts of alcohol can help protect memory. The study looked at the drinking habits of 700 people, half had dementia. It found that non-drinkers were twice as likely to suffer the condition as moderate drinkers. Heavy drinkers, people who drank more than 14 drinks per week, had an even higher risk. And that's tonight's medical checkup.
Coming up in sports, Syracuse gets ready to dance. Rick Hager reports from Boston, and the Bills say goodbye to a pair of veterans. Mark Gruba has the story next.
In nature, speed and timing are crucial, and now you need both to get a great deal on a Jeep vehicle, since the Best Values in America event won't be around for long. So act fast if you want great products, a great warranty, and great deals, like a generous cash allowance or a $279 a month lease on the always capable Jeep Liberty for qualified lessees. So get to your Jeep dealer today, because timing is everything. Great products, a great warranty, and great deals all add up to the Best Values in America. Check one out today.
It's a feast at Applebee's, I'm me on my own. Add a little spice and sure is nice, I love them combo. Cajun
How does new K9 Advantix stack up against Frontline? To find out, we put 2 users to the test. Fleas didn't bother them. Ticks didn't scare them. But how about mosquitoes? K9 Advantix, the monthly flea control that repels and kills ticks and mosquitoes. Ask your vet for the triple protection of new K9 Advantix.
I am a school counselor with 2 small children, a 7-year-old and 8.5-month-old. My life is very hectic. The family budget with 2 young ones, it's kind of tight. The Walmart price is a great thing for us. I'm not into clipping coupons. I hate to shop around because I don't have a lot of time. I do not worry about the price at Walmart because it's low every time I go. You save a buck here and there and there, and it adds up. My family, my budget, everything wins that way. Go to Walmart, save money, have money later. Pretty simple. Always listen to your counselor. Best advice you can get.
Hurt in a car accident, you're going to need the pros on your team. You want somebody on the mound who has the experience to get past the insurance company excuses.
Strike one! You want lawyers who can get you your money and avoid a nasty court fight.
Strike two! Don't go up against the insurance company alone. Go ahead, throw it.
Call 1-800-LAW 1333 for Alexander and Catalano.
The heavy hitters.
Value City Furniture, Ridge Road in Greece, and near Marketplace Mall in Henrietta. You just can't do any better.
Now, here's Mark Gruba with sports on News 10 NBC.
The Syracuse Orangemen have one eye on the war, the other on Manhattan as they await tomorrow's first-round NCAA game. Rick Hager reports from Boston tonight.
The road to the Final Four begins in Boston for the Syracuse Orangemen.
Just being here in this atmosphere, playing our games in front of all the fans, we just happy to be here.
But the excitement this year has been clouded by the start of the war. SU center Craig Forth's brother is a Marine currently based in North Carolina.
I'd like to see my brother safe and see everybody come home safe, but I guess we have to do what we have to do.
Coach Jim Boeheim has been watching the war coverage closely, but says his focus is on basketball when the team is on the court. And the third-seeded Orangemen aren't taking the number 14 Manhattan Jaspers lightly.
They beat St. John's and Seton Hall in our league on the road, which we barely beat both teams. So I don't look at this game as a 3 versus 14 seed.
Our kids are resilient, and they're tough kids. From New York. They're very. They don't. Not too much frazzles them. They don't turn their heads. They don't get impressed with too many things. But I think they're impressed with this experience, which tells you how great the experience really is.
And Manhattan coach Bobby Gonzalez grew up in Binghamton and used to attend basketball camps in Syracuse run by Jim Boeheim. In Boston, Rick Hager, News 10 NBC.
Thank you, Rick. Some great finishes already in this year's NCAA tournament today. NC State and Cal went to overtime this afternoon. Cal down 1, Richard Midgley for 3. NC State just seconds to answer. They get it up court to Scott Sherrill for the win. Back rimmed at 76-74. Cal advances in the South Regional. UConn got a big game from Emeka Okafor. 20 points, 7 blocks, and a 58-53 win over BYU. Scoreboard tonight, Cal and number 1, Oklahoma advance in the East. In the South, UConn faces Stanford next. Midwest Regional, Marquette and Mizzou survive scares. Wisconsin will face the winner of Tulsa and Dayton. Out west, Gonzaga and number 1 seed Arizona win. Illinois gets the Notre Dame Wisconsin-Milwaukee winner. Central Michigan will face either Duke or Colorado State, and Arizona State will face either Kansas or Utah State. It is a Final Four weekend for the U of R women. Tonight, junior guard Erica Smith was named a first-team Kodak All-American. Tomorrow, the Yellow Jackets face Trinity of Texas in the D3 semis.
We're really looking forward to it. I think we have a good shot at challenging these teams, and I think they look at us as the underdog right now. So if we get a chance to play that role, which we've done well all year, I think we might be able to do some things to surprise some people.
The MCC women advanced to the National Junior College Semi 78-55 over Northwest Shoals of Alabama tonight. The Buffalo Bills cut 2 veterans, fullback Larry Centers and linebacker Eddie Robinson today. That'll clear cap space for Sam Adams, who remains unsigned. And the last time the Sabres and Maple Leafs met, there were nearly as many fights as goals. Today, Amherst tough guy Sean McMorrow was called up for Saturday's rematch in Toronto. That should be interesting.
All right, Mark, thanks.
Thank you. Up next, we'll have another update on the developments in Iraq.
Houlihan's, Rochester's dining experience. Unique entrees in a relaxed, friendly atmosphere. You're gonna love Houlihan's, across from Eastview Mall.
Come with me, Owen. I'll show you things you wish you'd never seen.
Rock-a-bye, baby, on the treetop.
Jonesy, you be careful.
Be careful of what?
Dreamcatcher, rated R, starts Friday, March 21st.
In the ER, we have to be prepared for just about anything. We treat major trauma, heart attacks, serious burns. We're doing our best to be prepared for everything, even a terrorist attack. But if drastic healthcare cuts in Albany go through, we'd have to cut staff. There'd be fewer nurses, cuts in children's healthcare. Emergency rooms might even close. And if we did face another attack, I just don't know if we'd still be able to handle it.
Call Albany. We can make a better choice.
Mr. and Mrs. Caruso, your son's fine. Somehow he managed to jam a quarter up his nose. We were able to get it out. You can see him now.
Oh, thank you. Thank you.
Say hello to Coinstar. You give us coins, we give you cash.
The new Saturn Ion has plenty of passenger space if you're ready for that next big step. And 140 horsepower engine if you're not. And electric power steering if you are. And dent-resistant side panels if you need some time to think about it. Get a 2003 Saturn Ion L Series review at 0% APR financing for 5 years. For restrictions, see your retailer.
If you see news happen, call the News 10 NBC hotline at 232-1010 or star 10 on your Verizon Wireless phone. Join in, a service brought to you by Verizon Wireless.
Here are tonight's winning lottery numbers. The midday drawing, the daily 485, the win 4 7470, and the evening drawing, the daily 294, the win 4 0365, and the take 5 4 7 8 10 23.
And let's check in with Kevin with a look ahead at tomorrow's weather. Kevin?
Alrighty, Brian, the steady rain is now over. We are anticipating nothing more than a couple of showers at daybreak, a couple of breaks in the clouds too. Temps in the mid-40s, though the flood watch does remain in effect. Brian, Janet?
All right, very good.
Kevin, thank you. We want to recap today's developments. A Marine transport helicopter crashed in Kuwait tonight, killing 4 Americans and 12 British soldiers.
Those troops were assigned to the 1st Marine Expeditionary Force. Now, sea-launched Tomahawk cruise missiles hit their targets in Baghdad again today. Military officials say this is not the beginning of the massive air campaign that the Pentagon has planned. Defense Secretary Donald Rumsfeld says the U.S. is talking with Iraqis about the possibility of surrender or a coup against Saddam Hussein.
NBC will have a special report immediately following our broadcast. Stay tuned to News 10 Today tomorrow morning from 5:30 to 6:30 for the latest developments. The Today Show will start at 6:30. Matt Lauer will have live reports from Qatar. Good night.
Good night.